Okay, good day, boys and girls. Welcome to another lesson. We are on book 99. So get your writing books and let's get ready to head up. Okay, so we are on book 99, following book 98, Horse Hero. This one is also about fires. So left-hand side, book 99, and the title of our book today is Smokejumpers. So before we get into this nonfiction informational text, we're going to do a little bit of word work. So the word work today, very similar to last time. Short O patterns, O-U-G-H and A-L. So after you have the heading, I want you to write these 4 words into 4 columns. The word thought, salt, talk, and other. So this O-U-G-H-T makes an aw sound. The A-L makes an O, like in salt. And the A-L, kind of silent in talk. You don't really hear the L, but it's kind of like an aw, talk, and then other words. Okay? All right, so today for our word work, I'm going to start with the thought column, and I'm going to dictate to you words, and I want you to try to spell the words correctly using the ought pattern. Ready? Let's see if you can spell them correctly. First word is fought. So this will be going under the thought pattern. Fought. So the past tense of fight, fought. Next word is ought. Like you should do something, you ought to do it. Ought. Okay, now we're going to go into the salt column. First word, all together. We are all together in this pandemic madness, all together. Next word, almost. The week is almost over. After almost, you have the word false. An answer can be true or false. And the last word is bald. I hope I never go bald. All right, under the talk column, I want you to write the word walk. And in the other column, I want you to write the word chain. Okay? So let's see how you did. Didn't want to show the comprehension just yet. All right, so how did you do? Okay, let's have a look. So under the thought column, we have the words fought and ought. Did you spell them correctly? Under salt, we have all together. When I was in primary school, I remember a trick that the textbooks we were using taught us. To get her. In case you ever had trouble spelling that word. Next word, almost, false, bold, walk, chain. So these are very easy words, but you'll be surprised at how we can make silly little mistakes by just one letter. So it's always good just to practice them. Even though you guys are really fluent, it's so good just to practice spelling these words and identifying the word patterns when we see them. Okay, so I'm going to go grab my book, Smokejumpers, and you can grab yours, and then we'll begin. Okay, so this is the book Smokejumpers. It's a nonfiction, informational, or expository text. So it's giving us information, true information, factual information about smoke jumpers. So as I discussed with all of you in the introduction when you were in person in class, this is an actual career. People are smoke jumpers for a living. So smoke jumpers are pretty much like a firefighter. But instead of fighting building fires or house fires, they fight forest fires or wilderness fires. For a regular firefight, it'll be really challenging to get your big old fire truck in the middle of a forest with dense woods and the thickness and the roughage. So these smoke jumpers are trained to jump out of planes and helicopters, having parachutes, having nothing but the backpack on their back with different supplies. And they have to solely put out these fires. I'm not brave enough to do that. I don't know about you boys and girls. I'm sure they must make a lot of money because this is a really dangerous career. And people even compare them to being heroes. Okay? So as with all nonfiction texts, Make sure that you're paying attention to the table of contents so we know the sections, any headings, any captions, diagrams, maps. This book is organized a bit different in that they give us lots of information beginning, but they also have an interview. Okay, so what I want you to be thinking about is that we learn lots about smoke jumpers in the very beginning, lots of facts about smoke jumpers, what their job entails, what they need to know how to do, but then in the interview process, we actually learn a little bit more. It goes a little bit deeper and more personal. So as you're reading, I want you to think about these two forms of writing, okay? We have just a regular informational text and then an informational text, because I want you to do an activity at the end where you are discussing the differences between the two, okay? So as always, I'm going to start you off. So the table of contents for smoke jumpers: jumping into the job, safety gear, out of the plane and on the ground, the safety zone, the control line, personal safety tents, getting out, interview with the smoke jumper, and heroes on the job. Okay? All right, so first section, turn you a little bit, there we go. Jumping into the job. Imagine beginning your day at work by jumping from a plane and parachuting into extreme danger. I would not want to start my day like that. That's what smoke jumpers do. Smoke jumpers are specially trained firefighters. Their job is to stop the spread of forest fires that begin in the wilderness, far from roads or places where planes are able to land. Firefighters usually arrive at fire scenes in trucks loaded with water, fire hoses, and water pumps. But smoke jumpers parachute to the ground and fight fires with little or no water. They fight fires with dirt and more fire. Many people call smoke jumpers heroes, but smoke jumpers say they are just doing their job. Okay, caption at the bottom. Smoke jumpers are the only people who can fight this kind of wilderness fire. Okay, so of course they need some safety gear. All right, so labels are important. He has his helmet, his face mask, his padded jumpsuit, a harness, emergency parachute, shirt and pants that won't burn, didn't even know there was a such thing, personal gear bag, and boots. Safety gear. Smoke jumpers work out of base stations. These are like fire stations in a town or city, but they are near the wilderness. When a fire is reported to a base, teams of smoke jumpers get ready for action. Smoke jumpers put on shirts and pants made from a special material that doesn't burn. Then they put on padded jumpsuits that won't rip. The jumpsuits protect smoke jumpers during rough landings. Okay? All right, so they give us lots of information about what it takes to get to the ground, when they get there, what they have to do. Fighting fire with fire, didn't even know that you could fight a fire with a fire. And then as you continue on, they get to the part where they start to interview. They interview one man, Dan Contrell, and he gives lots of important ideas to help us think about why he got into this job, why he got into this career, and what a typical day is like. So at this point, I want you to pause and continue reading the rest of Smoke Jumpers. Okay, so that was the end, and you should have had enough time to complete Smoke Jumpers. All right, so I told you before that there are two kinds of writing in this book. It's the main information part, and then they also have an interview part. So you have to read these a little bit differently. You have to interpret them a bit differently, because one is really factual and the other is somewhat of somebody's opinion. Okay? All right, so this is what I want you to do. Comprehension. Smoke jumpers include two kinds of writing: the main informational book and the interview. Reread the interview and share something you learned from the interview that you didn't learn in the first part of the book. Okay? So both bits of information don't tell us exactly the same thing. The interview actually gives us a little bit more. So I want you to reread the interview and tell me something that you learned from that interview that you didn't learn from the first part of the book. Okay? So very simple, very easy. So when we do comprehension, boys and girls, it's not going to be like this long, drawn-out 20 questions, because I really just want you just to focus on a few key things each time that will help you become a better reader overall. Okay, so that when you start to see some of these things like interviews, captions, photographs, comparing photographs in other books, you'll automatically do it. Okay, it'll become more automatic. All right, so that is it for today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Bye.